Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load. Terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard that tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back, legally, on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle.
KISW presents the KISW Financial Advisor. Here to talk money, please welcome Todd. I invented numbers, so I know how this stuff works. Peach.
Hey, Todd, what's up, buddy?
Hey, good morning, DJ. How are you?
Doing well, Todd. Doing well. And folks, let me tell you, Todd's the man, okay? He's got over 25 years of experience in the financial services industry, and he's been with BECU for the last 16 years, and what a great place to do all your banking. If you live, work, or attend school in Washington State, you can be a BECU member. Just go to becu.org. And Todd, I hope the holidays are good. You didn't spend too much. It's Todd we're talking to.
That's right.
Did you manage it, Todd? I mean, I always wonder if Todd's going to go, dude, I can't believe it. I went out of my mind this year. I don't know what I was thinking.
You know me too well, BJ.
Yeah, that's what it is. Steve, on the other hand, already looking at more T-shirts, Todd.
I closed the browser. Todd would be proud of me. And I said, I do not need this shirt.
You closed the browser, yeah. But did you save the link?
Well, I still have the email. I mean, I'll delete it, maybe.
Right, yeah.
Look, you're like my wife, Steve. I swear we have our own Amazon truck. It comes every day. So.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you and me both. I mean, they leave notes saying that they love the show on mine. Like, that's how it's gotten to the point where they know who I am. And
wow.
Yeah, we get stuff almost every single day.
2 or 3 times a day. So.
Yeah, especially with a baby, man. I just forget about it.
Yeah.
Forget about it. 206-421-ROCK. Text
Jeff
us at
Bezos
77.
owes me.
Oh, does he owe you?
He owes me something.
Yeah, all right. I'll see what I can do.
What are you going to do?
I want to talk to Jeff Bezos and say, look, I don't know if you understand. He's a fellow bald guy like you. Come on, Jeff. Give him something. All right, if you got any questions for Todd, man, it's simple. 206-421-ROCK. You can text us at 77999. Let's go to Casey in South Center. Casey, you are on the Rock with Todd from becu.org.
Hey, guys. How you doing this morning?
Hey, Casey.
Great.
What, Casey?
Hey, I got a question for you. My wife and I, we have fairly separate finances. We've combined a few things here and there, but for the most part, I've got my savings account that I am building up, and she has hers. But we want to do some renovations at the house, and we've already priced everything out. It's going to be about $20,000 to $25,000 for the renovations. Now, we together have the cash to pay for that flat out, but her perspective is she wants to look into getting a home equity line of credit for that amount and keep our savings as a liquidable asset so that if something were to happen to her job or my job or something catastrophic, we could still get the renovations done, but then also have this backup kind of buffer for the unknown, for the what if. And I just didn't know if it was a good idea to incur an APR, and more payments in the future, essentially pay someone money to get money versus using what we already have.
That's a great question, Casey. So it sounds like that savings you have is your emergency fund. You don't have anything else to fall back on.
Correct.
So if something were to happen, which we don't know if it could or would, but you wouldn't have that 6 months or 8 months or even a year of expenses to fall back on. That's that $20,000 to $25,000.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay. I'm going to side a little bit with your wife there, and the only reason is that if let's say you were to get laid off or whatever, or both of you, it's much harder to borrow money when you're out of a job, or when you don't have income. So maybe there's a trade-off here. Maybe it's not the whole $25,000. Maybe it's part of that, and you're keeping some of that in that emergency fund if something were to happen. And then I would look at, and you could also look at just getting a home equity line of credit. So the money is there. It's already set up. You don't necessarily have to draw on it right away, but you have it established in case you need it.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Thanks, man.
And Todd, I have a question to follow up on that, because it's the first thing you always say to anybody when they're starting any kind of financial plan at all. That's the first thing you say is that emergency fund. And what is the rule of thumb for an emergency fund, like based on someone's annual income?
6 to 8 months of expenses is a good starting point. Depending on your profession, if you're in sales or something more risky, maybe you want to look more of like a year of expenses. But a good starting point would be like 6 to 8 months of expenses set aside in a safe money market or a savings account.
206-421-ROCK, text us at 77999. We're talking to Todd Peach from BECU.org. John from Lake Tapps, you are on the Rock.
Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning, Todd. How you doing today?
Hi, hey, John. Thank you.
What you got for us, Johnny?
Okay, so here's the deal. Bought a beautiful house up in Bonnie Lake 7 years ago. About 6 months ago, I refied from a 4.0 to a 2.78.
Nice.
I paid off the wife's Yukon. I put $20,000 in savings.
Damn.
I have $10,000 in checking. What I'm doing is a biweekly payment on my house. So that puts another house payment towards principal at the end of the year.
Nice.
Plus, you have to make one full house payment in order to do that. So my house payment went from $1,428 to $1,295. But what I'm doing is I'm putting it up to $1,500, which is $750 every other week, which equals to $205 a month towards principal.
Nice.
I'm wondering what else, if you can think of, that I should be doing. I also have $90,000 in my retirement, which right now isn't, all that much. So I'm not doing too bad. I got a really good job. Everything's stable. I don't live outside of my means. I have no other payment besides my house payment. None. Everything I own's bought and paid for. But I'm just wondering, is there something I'm missing, something I can do to relocate some money somewhere?
Yeah, you can relocate it to us. I mean, we haven't had breakfast. I mean, come on, John. And you got some extra cash running around.
Seems about right.
Yeah.
No, the guy without the beard owes you breakfast.
Good point. Not true. Very good point. Yeah.
So I'm listening.
Yeah, so Todd, it sounds like he's got a lot of things going on. By the way, John, you haven't told us your age. I think that's important since you're talking retirement. How old are you, sir?
I'm 56, sir.
All right, there you go, Todd. You got all the info. It sounds like he's doing a great job. Is there anything he's missing?
Well, I'm not a big fan of paying off the house or paying that extra principal is kind of down on that list for me personally.
Why is that?
John, you mentioned it. I think you said you have $90,000 in retirement.
Yeah.
At 56, that's probably low. Quite a bit low, actually.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. And so instead of, it's great that you're paying that extra principal. You're not, you don't have, it doesn't sound like you have any more debt now that the car's paid off. So instead of doing that extra principal, I would look at redirecting that money into an IRA or possibly a Roth IRA.
Todd, is that because basically the interest he's paying on his house is a lot less than the interest he would be getting back from putting it into an account like that?
Absolutely, yeah. He's at 2.78%, I think he said. And over the long run, you can make a lot more than that in the stock market. And in retirement, you can downsize the house and sell it and do whatever. But that retirement income is we're a little low there. So I would probably look at redirecting that extra principal to some retirement savings where you, like BJ said, you can earn a return much greater than the 2.78% you're paying on the mortgage.
Okay, so basically my house payment went down to $1,295. I bumped it up to $1,500. So right. Should I mean, I can work both ways with that, you know. So should I not do that and put more into other, like Roth IRA or something like that, you're saying?
Yeah. Do you have like a 401k at work, or what does your retirement look like?
Yes, I have 401k at work.
Is that what you said the 90,000 is part of, or is that something? Is that more than that?
No, that's through my work.
Okay, so there you go. So all he has is
you could up that 401k at work. It sounds like you're not putting in. You're over 50, so now you have the catch up. So you're at like 26,000. You can put in that 401k.
Yeah.
You're not there.
Yeah, the way I have it figured.
All right, you know what? You can reach out to Todd. I mean,
that's it. That's a good call.
Going back and forth now about the same.
So
thing.
here's just to summarize: if we up that 401k, that's going to be tax deferred money. So he's not going to pay income tax on that today, and it's going to grow at a rate better than the 2.78% he's paying on the mortgage.
Good call,
Todd. We have important questions. Not that guy's stuff was important,
Here we go.
Somebody says, look, you got to ask Todd, how am I going to invest my lottery winnings? Another person says, I don't know if he's playing the lotto right now, but Todd, you kind of have to. It's worth so much. What would you do, and what would you buy if you won it?
And how much of my emergency fund should I direct towards those lottery tickets? I think that's important.
It's like 900-something million?
Yeah. I feel like my entire emergency fund should go to that, right? I mean, this is an emergency. I need to win that lottery.
Do you think someone that's dropped, like, I know people have paid $100 for a ticket, but do you think someone's dropped like 5 figures on lottery tickets?
That's a good. Todd, have you heard any crazy stories like that in your time about the maximum amount people have spent on lottery tickets?
I haven't. No, I have no idea.
Do you recommend that I do that?
I do.
What, 6 figures?
5. Come on,
He's going to go 5 figures.
Crazy.
Don't get crazy. He only wants to spend 5 figures.
That's irresponsible.
Come on. Come on. He's only talking about 20 to 30 grand he wants to spend on lottery tickets.
Actually, here's a good question. Is now a good time to buy a condo in Seattle for the first time during COVID? I noticed that prices are coming down.
Oh, good question.
Well, I mean, I've said this all along that, timing, when you're ready, you're ready, and you can't time them. What home prices are going to do. Yes, prices are down a little bit in Seattle as people have moved out, but maybe once we get the vaccine, people will start to come back. So if you're ready to buy, you have the down payment, your credit's good, you're in a great spot, you're not going to move in the next 3 to 5 years. Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at it. Time to start looking.
And one quick follow-up based on that guy's call. How much should you have in your retirement at the age of 56? Someone just texted in.
Let's base that, by the way, say somebody made 50 grand a year, because you have to have a number that you made. So let's say if you made 50 grand a year and you retire at 65, Todd, how much do you think you'll need? Just so someone can get an idea of like, what will I need if I was used to making 50 grand a year?
That's a case by case, BJ, and the reason is it depends. What do you want your retirement to look like? Are you going to travel? Do you own your home in your retirement? So there's a lot of variables there. So this is, I think you mentioned this many times over. It's not a bad time to sit down with somebody, an advisor, to run those numbers, and they can tell you, okay, based upon making $50,000 a year. Are you going to spend $25,000 a year, or are you going to need that $50,000 a year income in retirement as well? Then you can start to make some scenarios and some numbers, and what that might look like. It might be $700,000, it might be $1 million, it might be $1.5 million.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because I remember when I sat down with my guy, 10 years ago, I had all these plans, all these things I wanted to do, and then here it is, he does a 10-year review. I don't want to do any of that stuff anymore. I'm like, you know what, that was stupid. I don't want to. And he's like, well, that will significantly change the numbers then. So you make a really good point. You have to really check in a lot.
Having fun's overrated. I don't need to go have fun. So
Todd, good call. Always, chatting with a financial advisor is a great thing. And again, we've run out of time, but Todd will be happy to answer any questions you have via email. Just go to KISW.com, scroll down, you'll see the banner with Todd and I there, and you can click on that. It'll take you right to the email address, and Todd will do the best he can. Todd, always good talking to you, buddy.
You too, BJ. Thank you.
There goes Todd. And don't forget, if you live, work, or attend school in Washington State, BECU is a great credit union. It's a great alternative way than the average bank because they work for you because you are an owner when you're part of a credit union. Go to becu.org. We got a list that just came out of the 20 best album opening songs of all time. And what do you think topped the list? Well, I'll tell you. At 8:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load. Terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
Everything is better electrified. Like the guitar, toothbrushes, or cars. And Hyundai has the widest range of electrified vehicles on the market, including the first ever Tucson and Santa Fe plug-in hybrid EVs. You can use electric when you want it or gas when you need it. It's your journey. Evolve it beyond the pump in the 2022 Tucson or Santa Fe plug-in hybrid EVs. Visit your nearest Hyundai dealer or learn more at HyundaiUSA.com. Call 562-314-4603 for complete details.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. The website Bro Bibles put together a list of the 50 best opening songs of all time. And we want to go, what do we want to go, from bottom to top, or do we want to start right at the top, Steve?
Let's just start right at the top. Give the people what they want.
All right. Well, it's no surprise that the best opening song of an album of all time, people believe, is indeed from Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
And, and this bad boy.
I love that cowbell. I just love that he rocks the cowbell on that damn thing, Steven Adler.
And so that's the idea. It's the first song of an album. Who has the best first song, opening song of an album all the time? Of course, that from Appetite for Destruction. That's what we're talking about, Bro Bible's list.
I always have this conversation with my buddies whenever we get like music geeky. I feel like the first song off of a record, it's like the first impression. You got to come out strong. You can't give us crap as the first song. Like it will dictate, especially nowadays with streaming services and, back in the old days of vinyl and CDs, I might just sit there and listen to the whole record. But now it's like, if I'm not feeling that first song off your record, like, I'm going to move on to something else.
Steve, it's quite a philosophy because I remember, when I would work at the hit stations and then you'd get the full album, the first song wasn't the hit song. Like, they always had something, So there is a different philosophy depending upon, is it the studio, the band, the record company?
But I don't think it has to be the hit song. It just has to be, it just has to make that statement. Unless you have, like, some kind of cool, like, musical thing that builds to the second song, then that's almost like the first song is the lead up into that song. But for the most part, I think about Pearl Jam, their record, Versus. Go. Oh, man, right from the get-go, it's like, okay, this is what kind of record we're going to have. And it's not the biggest hit off of that record.
Yeah.
There's many more songs that are, quote-unquote, that I would say better, but, like, I felt like that's, like, a great statement.
And you don't think, when it does do, like, that little musical intro, or sometimes when people have that talking first track, does that count as it, or is that annoying?
I think it should. It's the opening track.
Yeah, I guess they can argue with that, because I read this article, and it said, like, a lot of hip-hop records are not on this, or songs, because sometimes the first song is, like, an interlude, or some kind of a build-up, and then the second song is technically the first song. So I feel like there's lots of shades of gray on this, but
yeah, I guess opening song or opening track, however you decide that.
Right.
Yeah.
But Guns N' Roses is a perfect one. I mean, that opening guitar riff. Yeah. And some say that's not the best song off. I mean, Sweet Child of Mine is a bigger hit than Welcome to the Jungle. Yeah. Paradise City's probably a bigger hit than Welcome to the Jungle. But Welcome to the Jungle is the song that you want to start that record with.
Yeah, it's at number 2. I think you know this one. That's actually number 3.
That's number 3.
That's number 3, but all right, we'll give you that one.
I guess Danny's a big Prince fan. Decided, you know what? I'm making that number 2.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this was a big song. Now, you're finally in my genre. Like, when I started in the radio business and I was working at Hit Radio, this song was insane, as well as that album, Purple Rain.
You know, when Prince passed, that's when I made that, like many people. I'm like, I should revisit that. And then, of course, at the time, like, none of his stuff was on streaming, so you had to purchase it. So I purchased Purple Rain, like, impulsively. And then, like, first couple songs, I'm totally feeling it. I'm like, I know this is great, but it's just not my style of music.
Exactly.
So I just wasted money, really.
Yeah,
I just went on YouTube and listened to that song a couple times.
Impulse purchasing. It's
super
a B.
impulse.
It's a B, man. I know. It's not good.
Yeah.
All right. So that was the number 3 best opening song to any album. Again, Let's Go Crazy, Prince and the Revolution, Purple Rain. Do we have number 2? Yeah. I think we do. Here we
we'll
go.
Find out.
Yeah, there we go. Off of Led Zeppelin 2. Yeah. All right, and Steve, I'm not. You know what? I can't remember my memory. I don't know if we can pull up the other tracks on Led Zeppelin 2, because you may be right. A lot of times that first song is not the most popular song, and I can't remember. You know, I'm not a Zepp head, so I don't know.
Led Zeppelin 2, just to get the track list, a Whole Lot of Love. Then you got let's see, just trying to make sure. You got Moby Dick. You got Ramble On.
Yeah.
I would say A Whole Lot of Love is the.
I think you're right. Yeah, in that
I think
case,
that might be the biggest hit off of that record.
I think that is the biggest hit off of the record. So sometimes it is.
Oh, 100%. Like, one texter brings up a great one. Nirvana's Nevermind. Starts with Smells Like Teen Spirit. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say, because it's just like, it's a great album, but that is so iconic.
That's a very GNR Welcome to the Jungle vibe as well, in a weird sense, if you want to, you know what I mean? Because you got like that opening guitar riff, and then when the drums kick in, you're just like, okay, I'm in. Sold.
So Smells Like Teen Spirit didn't make the top 10.
No. Which
wow.
I think is kind of crazy.
Did not even make the top 20. I mean, or if it did, it wasn't. This list doesn't think it's notable.
It's not even on. I'm looking at the list. It's not even in the top 50.
How is that? That's insane.
That's
insane.
Look, I'm not embarrassed to say I'm a Coldplay fan, and they put Politic, which is a great song off their second record, I believe. It's a great start to that record, but I mean, how do you? They must have just forgot Smells Like Teen Spirit. I feel like it's one of those things where maybe it just was a complete oversight.
Do you think Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes deserves to be ahead of that off of the Elephant album?
No, I don't.
See, I
love that
you.
song.
Yeah. I agree with you.
It's an iconic song.
Yes, no doubt about it.
Ahead, but it is a good song.
But I mean, at some point, you just have to say, look, we understand. Look, the White Stripes are a great band, but I mean, you have to take a look at the fact that, I mean, come on. Smells Like Teen Spirit deserves to be ahead of that.
I truly believe it had to be an oversight. Unless, like, maybe Bro Bye was just anti-Nirvana.
Would you put it ahead of My Name is Jonas by Weezer? I would.
Yep. See, what's funny is, though, that that's the first song I thought of when I first saw this thing. I was like, that song better be on this list at some point, because that was really that's their debut record, and that, just the way it starts, I just instantly fell in love with Weezer. I just think that song is so great, but not the biggest hit on that record either.
Not at all. You're right.
But I really do think it sets the tone for what we're going to get for the rest of that album.
Yeah, you know me. I'm a big Weezer fan, and I still believe Smells Like Teen Spirit should be ahead of that.
I know, but we're going to just go around in circles and just bitch about Smells Like Teen Spirit for this whole conversation. I think you just got to have to accept it's not on the list.
It's just bro Bible, man. I mean, they're just haters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just wonder what else might not be on the list. You know what I mean?
It's a list. I mean, I hate to go down that road of just being angry about a list. It's more fun to celebrate the songs that are on it.
Running with the Devil, Van Halen.
Yeah.
Sure. Nice. Off of their self-titled album. That makes sense.
Enter Sandman made it at 23.
That's cool.
Metallica.
I mean, that's a great song. And it's got a great intro, too, so it makes sense. Purple Haze, the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Off of Are You Experienced? Yep. Don't have an argument with that.
Here's one that I'm really happy that made it. Because Rage Against the Machine, that debut record's just phenomenal from beginning to end. But it's the song Bomb Track, because it's like this. Rev, you might remember that song too. Mm-hmm. Like, it just builds and builds and builds and builds, and you're just like, when are they going to start the damn song? And it's just like it keeps building, and then all of a sudden, everything starts. Zach just goes, "Arr!" And you guys, it's like this primal grunt.
Yep.
And you're like, all right, let's go.
Oh, I just got goosebumps by you grunting.
Okay, I didn't. I just had disturbing images by that. I don't know anything about this. I mean, maybe I know this song. I don't know I know it. It's No Church in the Wild, Jay-Z and Kanye off of the Watch the Throne album.
I don't think you know the song at all.
I don't know this at all.
It's a good record, but I don't think you know that song at all.
Okay.
That would be awesome. You're like, oh, yeah, that song. I listen to it all the time.
Yeah, I don't know if I might have heard it. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Refugee. It's a great tune. I remember that off the Damn the Torpedoes album. I was around when it came out, so that was my generation. Yeah, good song.
I like this texture, and it's not on the list, unfortunately, but it's pretty funny. Straight Outta Linwood, the opening song on White and Nerdy.
Oh, yeah.
That's Linwood, California.
Yeah. With one N.
Yeah.
Right.
Beautiful Day by U2 off of the All That You Can't Leave Behind. You don't go for that, huh?
I don't hate the song.
It's a beautiful.
I don't like U2. I just man.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I feel like every 3 or 4 years, I remind myself I don't like U2 because I'm like, I should listen to some of that early stuff. It's like everything about it is good. Like there's nothing wrong with what U2 does. Edge is an incredible guitarist. I think the rhythm section's great. Bono's got an amazing voice. It's just put it all together, and I last a couple songs and I'm like, all right. And we used Beautiful Day in our wedding. Like at the end when we got married, they started playing that song. It made sense. It was a good vibe.
It's a beautiful day.
It was a beautiful day.
But,
All right, then.
I'm with Danny, man. I'm not a U2 fan. I want to be, but I just can't get into them.
I can't argue with you. I have them all over my iPod or my iPhone.
Well,
now.
yeah, they force themselves on you.
Yeah,
let's not forget.
I forgot about those days. But then there were times where I just fast forward. I don't want to hear them, which is so funny because I took time to put them in my playlist. But I'm with you. Sometimes you feel like U2 and sometimes you don't. I mean, it's really what it is.
It's like Almond Joy and Mounds.
It is. I mean, whereas
and they suck too.
Like Guns N' Roses, I feel like you always feel like Guns N' Roses.
And I would contend that if you're going with U2, I don't think you go Beautiful Day. You got to go with the iconic. I mean, their record, their masterpiece is the Joshua Tree. Like, even I can appreciate pretty much every song on that record.
What's the first album?
Where the Streets Have No Name.
Oh, yeah, that is really good.
Wow, that's a good call, Steve. I mean, that's a great song, too.
And I mean, that's not the biggest hit on that song.
For an opener.
What I'm looking for, I think, was a bigger hit. But that's like, to me, that's Mecca for, I think, U2.
I think you got to go words because, the U2 is always, they've been a political band, so their lyrics have meant a lot. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's a reason why some people love them more. And maybe I don't know the words of Beautiful Day, but I think it is something inspirational.
It's a beautiful day.
Okay, good. Now you got it. Yeah. I feel like there's something
better than the original.
I feel like something deep and philosophical in that song, and it hits people that way.
I like this one. The texture's right from their first record, Audio Slave, Code Cheese.
Oh, yeah, because it does that same build-up.
It's all
that
drums.
Rage does.
Right. And then all of a sudden when it kicks in, it's like this classic rock type riff going on by Tom Morello, and it's fantastic.
So good.
I think we can all agree with number 9. I mean, Crazy in Love by Beyonce. Come on, that was amazing. Yeah. Off of her Dangerously in Love album. This one here, for the longest time, love this intro. Wasn't until Sweet Child of Mine hit my brain that I replaced that intro that I loved before with Sweet Child. But this one was always the one that I loved and still love it when it comes on. And that is Baba O'Reilly, which most people call Teenage Wasteland.
Yeah. Or the CSI theme, is it?
Yes. Yeah. Off of Who's Next.
No, Vicky got it there.
Yeah.
That's the only way she did.
But that's Won't Get Fooled Again.
That's right.
Oh, you're right.
That's Won't Get Fooled Again. That's not Baba O'Reilly.
Close enough.
Baba O'Reilly's the one that goes.
Love that. Yeah. That was my favorite theme that would always put me in a good mood.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Sweet Child of Mine came out, and it's like, oh. But I love that theme to Baba O'Reilly. That's a great opener, no doubt about it.
This is a good one. Local band. A small band, but the band called Heart in Barracuda.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that was an opening one?
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
That's a good one.
Really? That is not, that they didn't make the top 20. Okay.
Let's see if it did or didn't. I'm not positive.
Didn't get notable. I only have some of the notables from the bottom 20 there, but yeah.
Looks like no, it did not.
Okay, I would argue with that. Give Me Shelter, Rolling Stones from Let It Bleed, sure.
Oh, that's a good one, too.
We talked about, of course, My Name is Jonas and Bomb Track. Tom Sawyer from Rush, sure. Yeah.
Oh, you know which one I just saw in there, and that makes me want to listen to it? I'm not even a huge Sublime fan. I know people love them. I'm good with them in doses, but this song I do love, and it's the song off of their self-titled release, and it's called Garden Grove.
Oh, yeah,
That's
that
a
one
good
is
song.
a good
Does
one.
that sound more like what they want people to think that they sound like?
It's super chill.
It's got a cool vibe to it, but it sounds like Sublime.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, you know what? I'm totally thinking of a different band.
You're thinking of Sugar Ray.
Yes, Sublime.
I just wanna fly.
Yeah, but Sublime's a good band. So, all right, I'll go with that on that one. So there you go. There's all of the disagreements and whatever, and I'm still going to be very upset about the fact that Nirvana wasn't on
I
this
got
list.
to imagine that was an oversight. I bet when they put it out and then someone brought it up and they're like, oh, crap, you're absolutely right. We totally forgot that band.
I can overlook Barracuda because, I mean, they're an older band, Hart. I get it. But I don't know how you overlook Nirvana on that one. Yesterday, Steve, he did get this one wrong.
Melon is an anagram of what other fruit?
Watermelon.
No.
That's it.
Melancholy.
No.
That's how anagrams work.
No.
Melons. Yes, that's not going to do it, Steve. Sorry.
Sweet melons, dude.
See, an anagram is when you mix up the letters of one word to form a new word.
Yeah.
That's a real word.
Right,
like
nerd.
melon and then lemon. Well, actually, that's so lemon was what we're looking
Thanks
for.
for lemon-splaining it to me.
No problem, buddy. You want a shot at beating Steve? You got it. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Migs at 8:47 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. Here's another question from a listener. How long is a bankruptcy going to affect my credit rating?
Of course, most of the time, by the time we're talking about filing a bankruptcy, the credit has already taken a huge hit. Chapter 7 is going to affect it more negatively than Chapter 13. Chapter 7 stays on your credit report for 10 years from the time you file. It usually takes 7 or 8 years for your credit scores to get back into the normal range in a Chapter 7 case. However, your credit will start to recover even in Chapter 7 after about a year. You'll be able to get credit again right away, usually before your case is even over. Chapter 13 stays on your credit report for 7 years and usually takes about 3.5 years for your credit to get back in the normal range. So Chapter 13 will mean your credit gets better much more rapidly.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.
Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load. Terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.